What happens immediately to a person when they die? Are they in a waiting room to be judged? Do they get judged immediately? Okay, so let's talk about that. So the only indications that we have about what happens is based in Luke and a little bit of a hint from Paul in both Philippians and 2 Colossians. So let's go through it. In Luke chapter 16, we have the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. Now, it does say in verse 22 that the poor man died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's side, or Abraham's bosom. And the rich man also died and was buried. So the angels minister to those whom have a better place to go. Now, before Christ rose from the dead, people would go to the waiting place known as Abraham's side or Abraham's bosom. It's a part of Sheol. And here's a graphic to kind of help you understand. On one side, you have the people who are awaiting comfort and resurrection to be with the Lord. And then the other side, you have those who are in torment awaiting judgment. Now that Jesus has risen from the dead, we firmly believe those who were previously in Abraham's side were taken up to be with the Lord, and that place is now empty. Why? Because of what Paul says. First off, in Philippians 1:23, he says, "I am hard pressed between the two. My desire is to depart and be with Christ, for that is far better." So he does honestly believe that once he dies, he goes to be with the Lord. Now, a lot of people say, oh, no, that's just his desire. Why would he have a desire for something that couldn't be possible? And he confirms this in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 8. So we are always of good courage. We know that while we are at home in the body, we are away from the Lord. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Yes, we are of good courage, and we would rather be away from the body and at home with the Lord. Paul is not in the habit of just making stuff up. He is where we get most of the doctrine that we abide our Christian life by. Half the books in the New Testament were written by him. People get the idea of some kind of soul sleep because there are euphemisms for death in the Bible that refer to it as sleep, just like we use the euphemism passed away. So don't get confused by euphemisms and poetic readings. When we die, the angels are going to take us directly up to be with the Lord.